Good morning, everyone. It's really early here. Well, my clock says 4:15, but it's actually 4:15, but according to the time change, it's of course an hour later. Yeah, still rebelling. I'm not rebelling, I'm just going with what there actually is. I hardly know where to start. I have by today, lazy Sunday, happy lazy Sunday, everyone. Regained my energy. I was so exhausted from all the traveling, then being at one house, then going to the next house. I have not done that much moving around, and I don't know, and I just exhausted myself, especially kind of uh, mentally, psychologically. My body was fine, but oh my gosh, it's like overload of stimulation and people and living on top of a mountain and going to town once a month. Oh, dear me. And then suddenly, oh golly. Well, anyway, so I'm good. I can feel it. I'm good. And had the greatest day yesterday. Uh, Went to see my younger granddaughter's last soccer game, and I was amazed. She's 5 years old. And to watch them play, I was just flabbergasted on how well they did, both teams. The coaches were amazing, which is not okay. Well, I mean, I've seen enough of the games of them of all my grandchildren, and some coaches are just meant to be what coaches, and with these little ones, of course, you got to remember how old they are and how much are they going to understand of the game. This snap, but these little guys were fabulous. And with the rules that come with playing soccer, and on how they already did the team spirit that they had as well. Just amazing. Yes, my granddaughter's team did win, by quite a bit of a margin. And loved it. Yes. And with all that comes living on the top of a mountain, living quite simple, and kind of, okay, I'm sitting in this camping chair and I'm noticing, oh, look, the grass must be really soft because I can kind of rock in this chair, right? Yes. And was really solid, like, you know, the 2 feet lift up, and I looked even and said, yeah, the 2 feet lift up in the front, just like you rock in a chair. And I'm looking across the field, and there is a lady sitting there, and she's literally looking. I was like, oh, look, that chair's like a rocking chair. I told my daughter, I said, hey, look, I didn't know they have camping chairs that are like rocking chairs. She says, Mom, you're sitting in one. I'm going, what? She says, yeah, you're sitting in one like one of those chairs too. It's one of those moments my daughter gives me this look like, Mom, what century are you living in, right? Or decade? All right. Then we came home and went for a walk. The children and I went for a walk, took the dog, and they wanted, ever since the first day I got here and saw my grandchildren at my other daughter's house, Gracie, we gotta go and reconnoiter, right? Yes, yeah, got that out of the Bible. Or I've said this before, we're gonna go and reconnoiter. My daughter says, that's not a word. I said, yeah, it is. And she went and looked it up. She said, yeah, it is. And it's actually exactly what you said it was. I said, yeah. Aha. Combine the old and the new. So my grandchildren now reconnoiter. We're not calling it scouting or spying. I told them the difference between actually scouting and spying. Okay. And anyway, so I said, no, 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 we reconnoiter. So they're all trying to really hard saying that word, reconnoiter. Let's go reconnoiter, Rosie. So I've listened to that now for yesterday. I said, let's go. And so we did. And it was so much fun. Oh my gosh. Going on a walk with children. I remember when I was younger, a child, we would go for walks a lot. And it was always, ugh, gotta put my book down. Ugh. I don't want to, right? But it was one of those things. I did not argue with my mom. And she said, time to go for a walk. You went for a walk. And, but, I was so bored. Yeah, okay, because I was always in my stories. And yeah, at that time hadn't learned yet to look around. And my mom wasn't one of those people that say, wow, look at this and that and that. We just went for exercise, right? But when I go with my grandchildren for a walk, and I did that with my children as well, when I went with my children, and they would find us, they'd go, Mom, look. And they found a little ant hole where there were all these ants or something else, a worm that was dried up. And they'd have to go and check it out. And, Mom, why is it like this? Da 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 da. Right? And I always had a good answer, of course. Homeschooling children, you do really do expand your knowledge, right? And then you have to try and teach children. That's very different than with adults. Oh, yeah, okay, you have to learn that to do how to do that as well, right? And I would always stop. It wasn't, oh, we're on our way to the park. Let's go, let's go. No, it would take us. It was about 1.5 blocks from our house to the park in that one place we lived at, and it would take us 2 hours. 2 hours. Right? A 5 minute, tops 10-minute walk would take us 2 hours to get there because we had to stop. Every few feet, there was something to discover, right? Yes. And of course, I would stop. I wasn't in a hurry, right? And with my grandchildren, it's the same thing. And to give them a purpose, right? Yes. Yeah? To go on a walk and okay, and then we had my grandson was the leader. We had little binoculars that they had. I said, all right, you go ahead and you scout first. You make sure. And he came up on his own with some signs, Okay, that's stop. And then he'd go, okay, let's go, let's go. Every time a car would come, we'd have to either try to find a place to kind of hide, because we were scouting, okay, reconnoitering, and checking things out. This, that, yeah. How safe was it? Hey, and and then if we couldn't, I said, don't let them see your face. Don't let them see your face. And we do the statue thing, which my granddaughter remembered. Remember, Rosie? We become statues, so we kind of right, yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. It was just great. It was like it's so wonderful to explore the world with children, your grandchildren, in that way. I don't know why anybody would do it differently, or a cell phone is more important than doing that. I don't. I'm sorry. I have no. I don't understand how anything else could be more exciting than to see children, your grandchildren, growing up with that kind of excitement in life. Just saying. Yes. Then we came home, and boy, were we hot. And well, so we forgot the water, we forgot our hats, we forgot our sunglasses. Yes, all things that, gotta remember. And we got home, and we were a couple hours later, and we were just I said, hey, how about we make a movie theater now? So we did, oh yeah. So we took us an hour just to get ready for that. Okay. Well, we had to make the tickets, and then we had to decide on the snacks, and then we had to decide on the movie, and then we ended up watching a really interesting one that was called The Shepherd. And it's about a pilot that after I guess it was after World War II, and there were still remnants of, and it was Christmas time, and this one pilot got the okay to go home. So he did, and for some reason, some of his instruments, like the compass and even then, the fuel was still okay, but the compass and his radio weren't working, and he couldn't get in contact with anyone to guide him someplace where he could land. And he ended up flying this triangle uh, formation or something in this triangle, and hoping that someone would pick up his signal or something. And someone did, yes, and guided him to a landing strip. Gets out. It's a landing strip that's been closed down. The station there had been closed down, and he ended up finding out that this pilot that led him to this runway had perished 14 years earlier. And he says, well, but he was right there. I know he was right there. Right? Yes. Anyway, it's a beautiful, it's called The Shepherd. It's a beautiful story, and it's not a long story. It's a really short movie. And but my grandson, who's 8, he had some questions, so we would stop the movie and I answered, and he was really into it. And he said, Grozy, so that was a spirit. I said, yeah, sounds like that was a spirit. That at the time when it was necessary, that other pilot that was still alive said was able to see him and was guided. Said, it's a miracle. That's a miracle. Guided him to this landing strip. My grandson was really taken by that. He says, wow. So he survived because he was willing to follow the guidance, right? Yeah, of exactly. All right. Well, anyway, so there it was. Then we played games, and then we cooked something, and then Daddy says, "We had such a great day. Huh? I'm gonna go and get us some ice cream." We're all going, "Oh yeah." So wonderful day, yes. In the end, everybody did so well. We got a little reward of ice cream. It was very good. And here there is that I could see Dad says, well, it's evening time. They did eat their dinner, and they got just a tiny little cup of ice cream. Nobody complained about, oh, it's just so tiny. It's just a little. Right? Yes? Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. So we are in. Good things come in small quantities sometimes. Ice cream should be one of those. We are in. Oh, and my daughter got to go out and see her girlfriends and have a really nice time. Yes, yes, yes. It's important to all of you out there. When you're a mom of little ones, you've got to have some time to yourself. Okay? So if you're around moms with little ones, of course, they trust you and all. Oh, please give them a few hours to go and just, right? Yes? Yeah. It's important to keep everybody balanced, happy, yeah? Some stress-free times. It's raising children is an most important task you could ever do in your life. Absolute most important thing. There, that's what I believe. Okay. We are in the book of Nehemiah 8. Now, what's Ezra mentioned here again? I thought we were in Nehemiah. Well, they did say that there were some other things. Okay, all right, all right. Judaism is born. Ezra reads the law, the Feast of Shelters. Now, when the seventh month came around, the Israelites being in their towns, all the people gathered as one man in the square in front of the water gate and asked the scribe Ezra to bring the book of the law of Moses which Yahweh had prescribed for Israel. Accordingly, on the first day of the seventh month, the priest Ezra brought the law before the assembly, consisting of men, women, and all those old enough to understand, in the square in front of the water gate, in the presence of the men and women, and of those old enough to understand. I find this funny. He read, I guess there were some children there up to a certain age. He read from the book from dawn till noon. All the people listened attentively to the book of the law. Really? I wonder how attentively they actually really listened, right? I guess we'll find out later. The scribe Ezra stood on a wooden dais erected for the purpose. Beside him stood on his right Mattithiah, Shema, Ananiah, Uriah, Hilkiah, and Maaseiah. On his left, Pedaiah, Mishael, Malchijah, Hashum, Hashbaddanah, Zechariah, and Meshullam. Oh, Meshullam wasn't Zechariah and Meshullam the ones that didn't like what Ezra was doing later on? This could be still before that. In full view of all the people, since he stood higher than them all, Ezra opened the book. And when he opened it, all the people stood up. Then Ezra blessed Yahweh, the great God. Blessed Yahweh? The great God. It's funny how that is in here. And all the people raised their hands and answered, Amen, Amen. Then praised would be blessed Yahweh. Then they bowed down and, face to the ground, prostrated themselves before Yahweh. And Yeshua, Bani, Sherebiah, Yamin, Akbub, Shabbatai, Hodiah, Messiah, Kelita, Azariah, Yozabad, Hanan, Peliah, who were Levites, explained the law to the people, while the people all kept their places. Ezra read from the book of the law of God, translating and giving the sense so the reading was understood. That means he gave his own interpretations. That's what this is. So what were they? Then His Excellency Nehemiah and the priest scribe Ezra and the Levites who were instructing the people said to all the people, Today is sacred to Yahweh your God. Do not be mournful, do not weep. For the people were all in tears as they listened to the words of the law. Why couldn't they be mournful and weep? It's as if what? Our Heavenly Parent wouldn't understand their sorrow over, oh my gosh, what have we been doing? I'm assuming that's kind of what it would be, right? Not good guidance. He then said, You may go, eat what is rich, drink what is sweet, and send a helping to the man who has nothing prepared. For today is sacred to our Lord. Do not be sad. The joy of Yahweh is your stronghold. And the Levites calmed all the people down, saying, Keep quiet. This is a sacred day. Do not be sad. Then all the people went off to eat and drink and give helpings away and enjoy themselves to the full, since they had understood the meaning of what had been proclaimed to them. Now, what's wrong? If this is something that people hadn't heard, there may be generations there that never had heard the law of God, didn't even know what that was, in a way, right? With all the stuff that's been going on among the Israelites or the Jews, right? The Israelites. that division thing. I don't like that kind of stuff. You're either one as a nation or you're not. Then make two nations then, right? Just do that. Right? Yes, make it absolutely clear. But to have a divided people within one nation is not. That's not right. Done. Don't even figure out how to unite. And here, so the people hear this, and obviously it's really reaching their heart, right? Because they're being told, don't weep, don't be sad, blah, 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 right? But wouldn't that be that's a sacred time to our heavenly parent, is reflection time. Don't you think? Don't you think that our heavenly parent, when he sees, oh my gosh, here's one of my children, here are my children, and they're starting to understand. Yes? And they're immediately being told, no, 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 no. Don't cry. Don't do this. Don't do that. When we're done here, okay, and you got it, we're going to go eat and drink and be merry. When one hears the truth, and it's suddenly, they call it epiphanies, right? The light bulb goes on, awakening. Doesn't one need time to absorb and to reflect on it and to digest it? Isn't that kind of, how often do people, just saying, we're not accusing anyone, or I'm assuming a little bit from what I've seen myself with people, go to church, you hear a wonderful message, and you sit there, and it's really, yes, yeah, and I feel like that then people leave the church and they leave all of that right there rather than taking it with them. Reflect on it, go home, have quiet time. No, people need to go to the store, they need to go and eat, they need to da, right? And by the time a couple hours has passed, the sermon's forgotten. The teaching's forgotten. Whatever had reached the people, actually, for a short amount of time, it never truly reached all the way to the origin of their self, which is our heavenly parent. Yes? So I think I would have told the people, let's sit here and, okay, the ones that need immediate, like the children, okay, then I guess you should come prepared. Okay. Like we went out, forgot the water on a hot day, right? Okay. We probably would have stayed out even longer if we had some water with us. But to, reflect. Does anybody have any answers? Questions, right? Yes, that could be answered. But in a way, Ezra just assumed people understood. Did they really? Well, it seems like the people were really mournful and sorrowful. Found, oh my gosh, this is how we were supposed to live. And in a way, the Spirit of God really, truly, our Heavenly Parent was there. And otherwise, they're just, heard this before. Oh, yeah, Well, that sounds good. I wish it were that way, right? But then as soon as we go home, we're going to be taxed again. Where is our Heavenly Parent then? Yeah, we need that support as well. Okay, just saying. Right? Yes? But here they are. They were weeping and mourning. So that means, yeah, they understood something there. There was something going on. And it was what? By the priests, by the Levites. They were told, don't. This is a sacred day. This is a happy day. Says who? Who decided that? Obviously, the people as a whole realizing, oh my gosh, what direction have we been going? Needed that time. Right? Yes. Reflect, repent, and then start a new foundation, a good base, a strong, solid base to follow the guidance of Heavenly Parent, the guidance of Yahweh. Yes? But, no. Go eat and drink and be merry. No, don't do that. Don't weep. Don't. That's not a good thing. I don't think that was a good guidance. On the second day, the heads of families of the whole people and the priests and Levites gathered round the scribe Ezra to study the words of the law. And written in the law that Yahweh had prescribed through Moses, they found that the Israelites were to live in shelters during the feast of the 7th month. So they issued a proclamation and had it circulated in all their towns and in Jerusalem. Go into the hills and bring branches of olive, pine, myrtle, palm, and other leafy trees to make shelters, as it says in the book. That's what the important thing was. The people went out. They brought branches and made shelters for themselves, each man on his roof, in their courtyards, in the precincts of the temple of God, in the square of the water gate, and in the square of the Ephraim gate. The whole assembly, all who had returned from the captivity, put up shelters and lived in them. This the Israelites had not done from the days of Joshua, son of Nun, till that day, and there was very great merrymaking. Yeah, I bet there was. Each day, from the first day to the last one, Ezra read from the book of the law of God. They celebrated the feast for 7 days. On the 8th day, as prescribed, they held a solemn assembly. That's the end of 8. So, I'm just saying, I get it. Okay, well, they're going to be there for a while. Who knows how long this is going to take? It sounds like they were doing some kind of one of the parties that, got established 7 days, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I don't know. So, of course, you need somewhere to stay. But the thing is, to remember again, when the Israelites came out of Egypt, they were a wandering people, right? Wandering Israelites. They didn't have permanent shelters somewhere or right? Houses. They didn't wander from town to town. And no doubt, God gave Moses to, when you get to certain places, make sure there is shelter for the people. Right? So this was like the law of God, what is in there. That's not necessary anymore once they are where? Living where? In a town. Right? Yes? So they're okay. So they were, I'm not sure. Many people came from all over, and there wasn't any what they wouldn't do. What were they doing? Just being there and they knowing that, oh, this is what we're going to do. Surely they knew they were going to be gone for several days at least from their homes. So what, they were planning to just sleep outside? Oh, maybe. I don't know what the weather was like at that time, right? But surely they brought something along with them, a tent or something, right? I mean, again, and here, the one part that was, well, what else did you read to them? Well, we already know, kind of, yeah, but what got the people weeping? Which part was that? You were not getting that. Again, what is in here? What am I getting, actually? Oh, if you're going someplace, make sure that you build a shelter. So I'm going to go to church and build a shelter. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to church, Temple of God, and build a shelter. Go and pick up branches, this and that, and build a shelter. I'm just saying, is that unimportant that they said that? I don't know. Seems like to me, okay, that was the part that we're getting. Right? Of course, they heard a whole lot more. Well, what was it? And how did Ezra describe it? I'd like to know. But that's not in here. I'm not seeing it. Oh, is it coming up? Let's have a look. Nope. Doesn't look like it. 9 is a long one. Anyway, interesting. It's definitely interesting to read the Bible like this. And when I read, as I said, Nehemiah, I feel like found a kindred spirit in many ways. Now we're going back to Ezra again, and I'm not happy with Ezra, right? Why not? Well, here's Nehemiah. He's in charge of the physical aspects of the people, right? To rebuild Jerusalem, this and that. And he seems to be really guided by whom? And why is that necessary? Because he's still dealing with enemies, right? People who once again are already out to destroy them, discredit them, right? Excuse me. Amazing what kind of balance that Nehemiah really truly has when it comes to trying to figure out how to rebuild, not just in the physical, but to keep the people, right, on the right track. Defense is okay. Let's make our defense look so good again that no one will want to mess with us, right? And he had all of his ducks in a row. So the rumors, this and that, how they tried to discredit him, how to harass him, has no hands and feet because he's got the okay from the king of Babylon. Right? Just saying. But here's Ezra, and Ezra has, yes, the way more difficult job, in my opinion. Right? And that is to guide the people spiritually. And he's floundering. He's floundering all over the place in a way. That's kind of what I find. And on the way this is written down, and I wonder, I bet you there is more to this. We're getting the barest minimum of all that. And again, we're being kind of described on what the state of the people is, this, that, but what Ezra actually was teaching the people with the book of law, right? God's law, right? We're not getting. Building shelters, that would be Nehemiah's job. Right? Yeah. Just saying. So, I don't know. It's interesting, huh? On how this is presented, and where's the rest? There has got to be more. I know there's more, but it's not in here. Why not? If we would have all of it, Ezra might look different to me. Yes, but this is what I'm getting. So am I being a little bit steered by, again, who? The high priests, some of the other Levites, who said, we can't put that in there. We need to be taken care of, and we need to be able to control the people. Yes. Also, the people who put this together, the Bible together, for us now, yes, is it still that way? Are we really getting what we need to get from the Bible when it comes down to it? Are we truly through the people of that time? New Testament might be a different story a little bit, but reading this, it's in here. It must be important in a way. But today, what kind of guidance are we getting out of this? No more than the Israelites, the Jews did at that time, because this is not much guidance here. Just saying. Right? Yes. And on top of that, hey, when you understand it, when you get, right, God's law, this and that, then go eat, drink, and be merry. We're not at that point yet. That means restoration's done. Then, when everything runs, oiled, the machine of mankind is oiled, it is done. We have absolutely gotten rid of sin, this and that. Everybody lives a proper, fair life and has everything they need to do so, what you need, not what you want, then I'd say, now let's have this feast. But until then, we do what? We reflect before we react. We repent. Try to make things better around this. What do I always say? So, well, that's easy to say. Look, everyone can do this. Wherever you go, either in your own home, you're a guest at someone else's home, You try to leave the place in better condition than when you found it. Oh, well, but some people said, well, you go to someone's home and you eat. At this, you're a guest. Unless, so we said, no, you're the guest, we're not. And still, you can be clean. You can acknowledge the rules in their house by taking your shoes off and not just tramp around on a clean floor with your dirty shoes, for example. Hang up your clothes if there are hooks to hang your jacket or this or that. I'm just saying. Do say, look, we ate so well, so wonderful. We're going to do the dishes. We'd like to help or help with doing the dishes. Yes? Clear the table. Okay, just saying. Little things. Yes? Yeah? For example. Of course, for me, it's always when I see any kind of need. Whew, yes. Both of my daughters, I said, Mom, that closet and that, great. I got jobs to do. I love doing. Right? Yes? Okay. There is that. Right? Yes? One thing. My grandchildren, there's garbage on the, let's pick it up. And when we come home, first thing, wash your hands. Yes? Okay. There. No matter where you are, where you go, right? If you see the necessity, right, that a place could be streets, your neighborhood, be left in better condition than what you found, then you do that, like picking up some garbage. Yes? Just saying. Yes. All right. So that's it for today. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, so I forgot that yesterday again. So I'm going to mention it today. And I should have probably, that's why I should have gone and looked it up one more time. I was watching a Japanese series or something. It was quite interesting. It was all right. And, I don't, not that I know how to speak Japanese, but I do know what arigato means, right? That's arigato. Thank you. And I heard a sentence that a girl was saying to a guy, where she used that word, and I'm going, wait a minute, what did where did that thank you come in? I'm pretty sure that's what I heard. It had to do, she saved his life, and he said something back, and she said this arigato something, but it was translated as, we're now even, right? I have repaid you, right? Yes, I have repaid your kindness, kind of thing. So I went and looked it up, and sure enough, the origin of arigato, right, properly translated, in the origin, means having overcome hard times, or a hard time that has been gone through, something like that. As I said, I should have written it down exactly, but you can go and look it up. And then, just as time went on, it became thank you. It was translated as just thank you, but really it has completely different meanings as well. So, again, translations from the old and what it meant in older times, but are translated now in what it means in newer times, often isn't right anymore. The translations do not give the actual teaching, the actual, what it actually meant. And so I think that translations from one language to another become confusing and then misunderstood. And that's why a lot of fighting starts between, I believe, especially in religion, between the theologians on what one thing means or the other. And rather than, okay, let's stop right here We disagree. So let's go and look up the origin of what was given and see if we missed something. And do it together. Right? Yes? It's happening right now in the movement that I'm in. The belief that I have, where people are split, deciding that, and it is coming from a language that has many things are completely different said, different sayings, different ways of expression, that then are completely simplified and adapted to modern times, and deciding to take, for example, one sentence that would more or less make up 2 or 3 sentences in order to properly translate it, are given in 2 or 3 words. Then you're not going to get the fullness of the teachings. It's not going to happen. It's like they're not even just dumbed down for the understanding, like Ezra did, for everyone to understand it. They're so dumb. That's why I said there, it's so dumbed down that then a sentence translated can suddenly be viewed as however it pleases you. You're going to be able to make it fit. It won't be according to God's heart, God's origin, Yahweh's, Heavenly Parent's origin. It's going to be according to whatever agenda people have got out there to make it fit. Do you see? So that's why we're not just here in the physical. We have a spiritual nature as well, a heart to mind that works together. We have a conscience, a subconscious, right? Yes, yeah. And we absolutely know right from wrong. If you don't, I'm not sure what planet you're from. I'm just saying. It is there. And the origin of our existence, Heavenly Parent, is always guiding us. Always. It's up to us to start to say, gosh, I know that. I know that quite well. I don't need to be told that. I just don't want to hear it because I've got other things I want to do. And that does not fit in with what I want to do. Not what I need to do, but what I want to do. Yes? So, I read this and I don't, again, I very much question some of the translations into the language that I'm reading it in. And as I said, come across, and I've been wondering about that very much. And I thought, now, how do I approach that? And I'm listening to this movie in this language that I have to read subtitles, and I'm going, wait a minute. In the way that the picture, that what was going on in the movie that I saw, and the translation, and what I heard, right, on the little that I do understand Japanese, that's not making sense. Why does that not make sense? Why is that word used? Right? Which I happen to know what it meant translated, according to what I was being told. And I went and looked. Oh, that word has a completely different origin. It means something completely different. And in that movie, it was used actually in the appropriate way, as in old times. Yes. And it probably still is. Right? But of course, as a foreigner, not knowing Japanese, I don't know that. And if arigato is just translated as thank you, then that's all I know. That's all I'm being given by someone else. Yes? Okay. So, in the Bible, I have a feeling that many things that are translated are not properly translated in full. Do you know what I mean? So, it leaves too much room for people to stray. with the support of the Bible. I'm just saying. Anyway, that's all I have to share this morning. Yes, it is, according to my time, 5 o'clock now. And I'm going to get going. Now I have to be still quiet. So I don't know. We'll see what else I'm going to do. This is Sunday. I'll probably go and do a little studying. I love that. I have got to look a few things up that I want to do with the children. Lazy Sunday. Tomorrow. Oh, that was so cute too. My grandson went in and he said, Gracie, look. And he brought the sign out. Adventure Maniacs. Yes. Season 2. And he stuck it out there. Daddy helped him put it up. And they're all so excited, including me. So, yes. Whew. Father, please give me the energy, the physical, the spiritual, to be the best I can be for these children again this summer. Yes? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, another thing. I don't think I mentioned that yet. Of course, here I'm holding my newest little grandbaby. She's tiny, just kind of waking up to the world. This is not. And of course, what do? Anytime they need anything, she doesn't cry a whole lot, but boy, she's got good lungs. And she loves mom. That's just babies. Smell of mom, this, that, feeding time, this, that, right? Yes, most important thing. So when that's not there, it's like, what happened? So I started singing to her about Jesus and about Heavenly Parent, and I would do that, and she immediately would stop, and then she'd start smiling, even in her sleep. She would start, as soon as I'd start talking about Heavenly Parent, Jesus, she'd start smiling. And then I said just about every day, I said the Lord's Prayer to her, with her, to her, same thing. She'd stop being fussy and just listen, and she would start smiling. Now you tell me. Oh, it could just be a coincidence. This, I know what people really. Okay, well, why don't you try it with your children? See how they react to your giving heart, to your original mind, the origin of yourself, which is our Heavenly Parent. And of course, Jesus is the one that physically represents everything here in the sense, right? Yes. So connected to the heart of our Heavenly Parent. Jesus is. And he's so connected to us due to his sacrifice on the cross. You start sharing that with a teeny tiny little one. They just came from where? Huh? Their spirit just entered a little tiny body. That's what they know. That's all they knew beforehand. Also, do we exist before? You got to come from somewhere. What is that? The origin of what? What do I say? It's out there. So, of course, that's the most familiar thing that you can give a teeny tiny little one, to be so content and to hear, oh, this exists in this world. The love, that origin that I felt before I entered the world. Every time I have a little one in my arms, a brand new, I say, welcome to this world, little one. Do you get it? No? A little hard to understand? It's a beautiful thing to see a little one respond to the words. She doesn't know, but the spirit, there is a give and take of spirits going on. good, give and take. A baby understands that. Yeah. Anyway, last thing that I shared. On a lazy Sunday. Oh, Spirit World, Heavenly Parent, everybody is happy. Must have done something right. Yes? Okay. All right. May Heavenly Parent bless and protect you, embrace you with love, and I will talk to you tomorrow.